Thank you very much for everyone for joining me here today. My name's Colm Mitchell. I'm one of the customer success managers here at Leap. My whole role is here to make sure that you're getting the most out of your subscription in our software. It's an absolute pleasure to introduce you today to Tracy Hatswell from Wason Male Wagland. Tracy, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello, Colm. It's lovely to be here today. I'm from Wason Male Wagland Solicitors, a small firm out in Potter's Bar, and we've been a Leap user for 6 years now, since 2018.
Amazing. Now, I've got Tracy in today to basically get her insights into our various different AI products. I will also give a short demonstration about what each of them do. Before I go into a little bit of Q&A with Tracy, I do just want to quickly explain what each of them will do. So just starting off with LawWide, this is your AI legal assistant that's there to be able to give you insights into case law and legislation. We also have Matter AI, which is intelligent matter searching. Our brand new innovation that we will be showing off today, Prompts, that allows you to be able to complete complicated court documents with ease. We also have Generator that effectively combines Matter AI and LawWide together to create letters for you. And also Auto Time, which is there to be able to automatically capture your time as you work away on your matter. Now, Tracy, as I said, I want to open it up to a couple of questions, if that's all right. So how have the AI innovations basically changed the way that your firm operates day to day?
Gosh, yeah, absolutely changed the way we work. We've been using Matter AI and LawY now for a while, since you launched them. And I'd say they've been a bit of a game changer for us in a firm of our size. Matter AI, we absolutely love. It allows you to search through the matter and get information, pull information out of the matter really, really quickly. Far quicker than the human brain can obviously do that, which really cuts down the time you're spending working in a matter, so that you're really concentrating on your legal advice really as a solicitor. It's kind of that paralegal assistant that's just there for you all the time. And LawY is, again, saving lots of money, lots of time, because it's having that closed environment. We're able to use the legal research tool to really look specifically at things that are relative to law, rather than some of the sort of chat GDP thing, where you go out into the big wide world and you get law donut answers. Leap has kind of designed this tool which allows us to really focus in on very closed resources, things that are first and primary resources, such as legislation, law reports, anything that's legally verifiable, and it shows you where the source of that information has come from. So if you're in a situation where you have a question, you've got that sort of itch at the back of your brain saying, I know there's something there, I know there's something I need to look for, but you're not quite sure where to look, it gives you the scope to search really quickly, so that you're pinning down the sort of things you need to be sort of focusing in on when you start advising the client. So we found it really, really helpful. Good. Very helpful.
And just even you mentioned about the resources, something that, say, LawY does that ChatGPT doesn't, having the resources when it gives you the answer, so you can do the double check-in or the verification and everything.
Absolutely. That element of due diligence and being able to verify the source of the information is vital, especially if you're going to then rely on that to advise a client. So it's not removing the need for your legal experience and your understanding of how legal research works. It's just supporting you in making that really a much, much faster exercise. And if you're not a big firm, if you're a high street firm like us, and you can't afford all of the libraries and the platforms of legal resources that other big firms have on hand, it gives you that confidence that you are getting that support through your case management system. I mean, it's saving so much money and making us competitive in a very big market, and we're finding it brilliant.
You describe it better than I do. That's incredible, Tracy. Thanks so much. What actually prompted your firm to start to adopt the AI technologies?
I think AI is something that is taking over the world. I think you have to accept it. You have to learn to understand it. You've got to embrace it, because, it's a bit like the old mobile phones. When, they first came along, everyone was like, this is
against it. Yeah.
Absolutely. This isn't something that's going to be for everyone. And now it's a computer in your pocket you wouldn't be without. I think AI is going to be part of the landscape, and it is going to change the landscape. And obviously, embracing that as a small to medium-sized firm is going to be really important. Again, you're just going to get left behind if you don't. And for us, having a trusted product like Leap, who then brings these extra resources to the table for us in a way where we've got the support, the understanding, the training, meant that we could embrace these technologies very, very quickly. The uptake has been rapid for us. Every time that you brought out a new product, we've been able to get that information about what it does, look at the due diligence around it, get the training, and implement it really, really quickly. And we've seen the changes, and we've seen it affect the way we're working. And it's all for the better. We feel it's a trusted product, and we're running with it.
Great to hear. Is there any particular ways that you would say that AI has helped sort of staff manage their time better or more efficiently at all? I mean, you've kind of covered it in the previous question, but
completely. I think for us, it is taking time to introduce each element. You have to feel that you understand it and you can trust it to start using it. So we started with Matter AI and Law Y to understand the parameters of where the information was coming from, how reliable it was. Once we'd developed that level of trust, we then started moving on to the activity, auto time, absolutely. We've now had some recent training on auto time. We feel that's going really well now. And I think that's where we've seen a massive change for our fee earners. I think for us, having the ability to look at some of the junior solicitors and the paralegals, seeing how they're spending their time, where they're spending their time, having that as a management tool, it hasn't just enabled us to capture billable time, which is what I know its primary focus, and that's been great. But I also think having the ability as managers to look at how our staff that we're supervising are using their time and looking at the ratio between billable time, it's given us some metrics that have been really helpful. As an example, with the sort of junior solicitors, looking at whether they're struggling with drafting, whether they're struggling with legal research, whether they're just spending too much of their time faffing. People can look busy and they're not always busy. So having that information, before you just wouldn't have that information. You have to be literally watching them like all the time to and to kind of draw down on what it was that's making them efficient or non-efficient. Now the auto time billing gives you that data in a readable report that's, makes my job so much easier. It's given me the opportunity to supervise many more staff than I would otherwise feel comfortable doing. So it has lots of knock-on effects within the practice that are actually more than kind of what it's for, but are working really, really well for us.
Great, really good. Now, I came out to Tracy's office the other day to basically show our newest innovation, Prompts, which is basically Matter AI within Word documents. I'd sent you a little video beforehand. What are your thoughts on that so far?
It's not often I get excited as a lawyer about coming into work. I'm very excited about it. I think one of the things we've talked about a lot when you've visited us is when we're looking at things like pulling information into documents. A lot of the time we're copying it across from other sources within the matter. We're pulling information out of documents. We're pulling information out of client communications. It's very easy when you're under pressure to perform tasks quickly, to get stuff out the door, to make little mistakes in, not picking up names and addresses properly sometimes, or copying dates of birth across into documents. Those sort of little mistakes that can make you look unprofessional.
Well, it just opens up to human error.
It just is open to human error. Whereas having the opportunity to insert that information straight into a document without even having to copy and paste is a game changer for us. It really helps with people that have dyslexia, for example, that might be struggling to really identify that information in a time-sensitive way. That's going really, really well. And I think for me, the excitement of just being able to produce those documents much, much quicker, almost quicker than I can dictate it for the secretary, that is quite exciting. And I'm quite enjoying playing with that at the moment and getting ready to implement that across the whole department. So
amazing. We've heard it here from Tracy. The best thing to do is give it a go for yourself.
Absolutely.
Just one or two quick others. This is likely going to be a rough guess, but roughly how much time would you say that using AI is saving people sort of on a daily basis? couple of hours or?
I would say even that noticeable, actually.
Wow.
Absolutely. I think the legal research side of things, where we would ask one of the paralegals or junior solicitors to do some research, they're coming back with that information much quicker. They're using their time to verify the sources and make sure that the information that they've pulled down is accurate, but that's still saving 2 hours a day easily. I've noticed a massive change in billable time across the departments. We're able to take on more capacity work-wise because of those time savings. So I'm hoping over the next quarter that we will also see an impact with our billable figures as well, not just time saving.
So good. Just one more question then, just before I move into the demonstration. How often would you say that staff are using the AI products?
All the time. Yeah, I think using it for the filling in of the documents, for content in documents, but even when you're on the phone to a client, classic example, there's information that they may have given you before. You don't want to look like you're not on the ball. You can, while you're on the phone, type in, have we already got the date of the marriage, or do we know the exchange date? That kind of information.
Verify.
Yeah. All of that information you can just quickly type in whilst you're on the phone, and you get that information straight up to hand. You can see if it's from the client's email that they sent 4 weeks ago. You can refer back to something that they've said before. It just makes you look like you're all over their case. So you're able to hold that information and it looks like you're holding it, which of course none of us can do over sort of 30 or 40 files.
Yeah.
But it makes you look like you are absolutely 100% into their matter. And that instills confidence, it instills a relationship that makes us look like we're really on top of everything and makes us look very professional and efficient. So I would say we're using it far more than we even thought we were going to be using it.
So good to hear. No, that is absolutely brilliant, Tracy. I'm going to come back to you shortly. I'm going to actually demonstrate these now just so that everyone can see how they work, and then we'll come back for Tracy's final thoughts on AI. So let me just move over to my laptop and we'll just go through them now.
Perfect.
Let's start off with LawY. LawY is your firm's trusted AI legal research assistant, offering instant AI answers specific to your jurisdiction and matter type. Optional verification sends it through to an experienced solicitor who can then review and update the AI answer for accuracy. It provides a powerful productivity solution, adding unprecedented speeds to a wide range of legal tasks, including conducting legal research, summarising case law or legislation, drafting letters, emails or documents, proofreading, grammar checking and summarising information, and also creating precedent orders. Let's have a look and see how this works. Now, I'm going to try and cover a wide range of various different areas of law today, and what I'll do is I'll start off with a divorce matter, and on opening up the case, we can then see that we have our AI legal assistant in the toolbar. If we click into this, all that we need to do to get it to work is basically just ask it a question. We can then ask anything here about divorce or dissolution, as I'm in a divorce case, but this relates to all areas of law. I simply ask my question, click on the Ask button, and we should then be able to see in real time that it will grab an AI answer for us. Now, one thing I really like about LawY is not only will it go ahead and give us the particular answer for what we're looking for, it will also provide the resources for where it's sourced that information. Therefore, if I needed to do some more research, I simply need to click into the resources to be brought to the web page to be able to do said research. There's also the option here to be able to copy to clipboard if I wanted this into maybe a document or an email. I also have a number of AI tools as well, so I can make this shorter or remove any personal information. I can improve the writing or fix any spelling or grammar, and also the option to be able to translate if I needed it in another language. We can also continue the conversation if I had follow-up questions, and you'll notice wherever you are within LawY, you have this verify button. All I'd need to do is simply go ahead and click on the verify, for it then to be checked by an experienced solicitor. I would then get a notification to be able to say if it's checked and also if any changes have been made. Let's move over to another area of law and we'll give this another try. For this example, I'm going to be looking at an estate dispute case. Again, I'm going to click into my AI legal assistant up here at the top. And in this scenario, I'm going to ask it to provide me with examples of case law for a specific set of circumstances. Provide examples of case law where a will has been disputed and a claimant has been successful. Again, I'm on an estate dispute case, but this relates to every single area of law. If I click on my Ask button, we should then be able to see after a few seconds, it will then provide me with different sources to be able to show me case law for the specific set of circumstances I've set up at the top. It will also give us our resources again, so we can click into, we could copy them, we could ask AI, verify it, and continue on the conversation or rewrite if we wanted to. Now let's go ahead and move over to Matter AI. So to explain this, the Matter AI application allows you to intelligently examine your leap matters correspondence to provide you with instant insights and information. Matter AI searches through your matters correspondence items such as documents, emails, attachments or scanned PDFs, and even handwritten notes. From a leap matter, you can ask Matter AI to assist with a range of different activities, such as checking matter details and dates, summarizing documents, comparing multiple documents for any discrepancies, extracting key terms or concepts from documents, and also analyzing financial transactions and providing timelines or chronologies. Now again, let's move over to a different area of law to show this off. This scenario, we'll go with criminal law. To access, I'm going to simply click on my Matter AI chat button up here at the top. And similar to when I showed off with the law-wise side of things, in order to make this work, we just simply need to go ahead and ask it a question. We'll get our chat box down here at the bottom where I can then type up my question. We'll also see that it will give us a couple of examples of various questions based off the information the matter has, but I can ask this absolutely anything. So in this scenario, what evidence does the Crown Prosecution Service have against my client? And within seconds, that's then going to find the information from the matter correspondence that it has available rather than me having to manually do it myself. I also love the fact that it will give the resources of where it sourced that information as well. Let's have a look at another scenario for this. Let's go with a will matter. As what I'm actually going to ask this to do is I showed off that you can click into the Matter AI chat button, which will then go ahead and search the entire correspondence. But I did mention a little bit earlier that I can use this to be able to compare documents. So in this scenario, I've got my draft last will, I also have my final last will, and I want to see what differences there are between the two. Therefore, if I hold down Control, I can select more than one document. I can then right-hand click and click on Matter AI, New Document Chat. So I'm not looking at the entire case, I'm specifically looking at those two or more documents. And what I can then go ahead and do is ask it to compare those two versions of those documents. Now, this could take me 5 to 10 minutes if I was doing this manually, whereas we'll see with this, it will do it within seconds for us. So it's loaded in those 2 or plus documents. I'm simply then going to go ahead and ask this to compare the two, what are the differences between the draft and the final. I'll just full screen this so we can see how quickly and easy this will go ahead and do it for us. This will then highlight differences between the two documents, saving a significant amount of time rather than us having to do it manually. The way I always describe this is it takes the grunt work out of someone manually sitting there and finding differences, creating the summaries, creating timelines. This will do the work for you instead. Let's move over to something brand new that I'm really excited to be able to show off. It's a brand new feature that we've introduced over the past few weeks known as prompts, and what this will do is use Matter AI provided directly within the Word documents through a simple add-in. Matter AI for Word basically has two main features. There's something that's known as chat mode, where users can ask questions about their matters or documents, and Matter AI will provide answers that can be easily inserted into the documents. And then there's also prompt mode. Matter AI will read the contents of a document as a prompt and generate a detailed response based on the rules and guidelines outlined in the document itself. That will make a lot more sense when I go ahead and I show you an example. But before we go ahead and use either, what we'll need to do is actually go ahead and enable the add-in within Microsoft Word. So let's get rid of Matter AI just for the minute. And if I just go into any Word document within Microsoft Word, each machine would have to do this, but once it's turned on, that should be it done and ready to go. In order to enable, what we'll need to do once it's gone ahead and loaded is simply click up into File up here in the top left-hand corner. We'll then just need to go to Get Add-ins, where we have a range of third-party add-ins. If we simply just search for Matter AI and just give it a little search, scroll down slightly, we should then be able to see the Leap option here. We'll simply go ahead and need to just click on the Add button. And because if it's your first time that you're using, you'll need to read through and agree to the terms and conditions. You'll also be prompted to add in your Leap credentials to connect it to your Leap database. Once that's done, it will then go ahead and ingest all the documents within all of your Leap matters. And this process then assists Matter AI with providing really quick responses to any of the AI prompts for us. Now, as always, this will make a lot more sense if we go ahead and we see a couple of examples. We're going to go ahead and jump over to some other areas of law for this scenario. So we're going to go over to a personal injury matter. I'm simply going to go ahead and click on New Document, and I'm going to say that I want to write a letter out to my client or claimant in this scenario. Now, once it's gone ahead and loaded, could go ahead and start typing into the document as I normally would. However, if I go ahead and I just click into the add-ins option that I've got available up here at the top, we'll now see that we have our Matter AI button. And what this will then go ahead and do for us is it will then start to load up Matter AI full Word, where we can then go ahead and ask it questions. This is known as chat mode. As with Matter AI within the case, it will give us a couple of suggestions. But what we can go ahead and do is type in our own specific questions. What injuries did Vanessa sustain in the accident? Now that will now be ingesting all the various different documents to then go ahead and basically give us our answer. But one massive time-saving benefit is I could ask this absolutely anything. And if I wanted that statement into a document, I simply need to click into the place I want it, click on my insert button, which will then insert that wording where I can then manually change that over. Let's give this another quick question. What specific rehabilitation, again we're on a personal injury case, did Vanessa have following the accident? I might want that as my second paragraph. This is now digesting the various different matter information. It's told me where it's got this information from, so I can check it to make sure it's right. Rather than typing that up manually, I could then click on insert and have that specifically into the document. So I could ask this any question, and if I'm happy with the answer, just over here on the right hand side, I can simply insert it straight into the document. Let's go ahead and move on to the next mode, which is going to be known as prompt mode. What I'll do is we'll minimize our previous document and let's go ahead and use a lasting power of attorney matter. Now, before we go ahead and show this, I'm just going to explain exactly what it's there for. Our prompt documents are essentially a set of templates that read the contents of that particular template as a prompt and generate a detailed response based on rules and guidelines outlined within the document. It's designed for some of the more complicated forms that can be quite time-consuming. What these will do instead is pull the information out from the matter so that they can be pasted straight into the documents themselves. Let's show a little example of this. So I'm just going to move to the forms and precedents option up here at the top. And we'll see I'm currently within the lasting powers of attorney matter. We'll see that we have this new folder, this beta, wills and lifetime planning, and a load of different options available. We can find all the various different prompts if we're in the practice management folder, and we simply go ahead into practice management. We'll find our AI prompts library with all the various options that we have available for different areas of law. We are adding more at all times, but at this time, what I'm going to go ahead and do is generate one that I want to basically produce a letter to accompany the LP1F. I can simply go ahead and double click into this. And what this will do is basically bring up a detailed instruction sheet telling Matter AI exactly what to do. So I can see Matter AI over here on the right hand side. It's now gone ahead and basically written a detailed letter with the information that it's extracted from the matter itself. If there isn't any information that's available that it can pull out, it will pop in placeholders for us. But rather than me having to say sit there and manually generate this myself, what I can go ahead and do instead is simply go ahead and copy the information directly from the prompt document, generate a brand new letter to accompany my lasting power of attorney documents. And what this will then do is simply allow me to paste this in. This could take 10 minutes to write an accompanying document, whereas with this, it's generated the information from the matter in seconds. I can then simply paste that into the document and have my letter written basically within seconds for me. Now, I don't just want to focus on the LPA side of things, so I do want to show this in another capacity as well. Let's pop into affirming matter where we've got a private child arrangement, and we'll just pop into our forms and precedents just to show off how good this can be. I'm just going to double click into my various different prompts. I'm going to go ahead and generate a witness statement. Now, what this will do, similar to what we've seen before, is pull out the information for us so that rather than us having to manually type up a witness statement, this would do the whole thing for us. So as this goes ahead and loads, we've got our document with these set of instructions, nothing manually that we need to do there. Just full screen this for ease. We can pop into the add-ins, click into our Matter AI. We'll get a little message to be able to say that that's now trying to digest the information from the matter after a few seconds. So we can now see that that's reading through the prompt, and it will then start to go ahead and pull the information out for us. And as we can see, this will then start to go ahead and pull everything together. It's telling us what it's pulling out from the matter. We'll see that it turns over into a different color once it's actually pulled the information from the documents and also from the various different matter details as well. Just give this a few seconds just to finish off. And once it's gone and retrieved those facts, it's then going to give us the full breakdown of exactly the information that we've detailed into the prompt itself. Just give that a second just to finish up. And then what we'll do is we'll go ahead and we'll actually then generate a signed statement for us. So I now have my applicant signed statement. I'm just going to double click just to start to generate that. And now I've got the document now generated and ready to go. All I basically need to do now is basically pull the information over from the prompt document that we used before. So here we have the prompt. I'm simply going to take all of that information, all the details that it's gone ahead and pulled out once I've checked them over, pop over into my signed statement. And it's as simple as just pasting that information in, completing that statement for us, meaning all that needs to happen now is the client needs to check the information and sign it. This could take upwards of 15 to 20 minutes to do this manually, whereas I've been able to complete this in seconds. So really, really big time-saving benefit, and these are so useful. They're also going down incredibly well when we're running training sessions as well. Let's move over to our next AI bit, which is our generator app. And what this does is simplifies document creation processes using LawWise trusted AI legal assistant within Leap to provide you with a more efficient and quicker way of generating documents. I actually like to think of this where it's gone ahead and combined Matter AI and LawWise together. But as always, this is best demonstrated. So let's go ahead and change this to another area of law. We're going to go with corporate in this scenario, a commercial purchase. I'm going to double click into this and move over into my forms and precedents. And what we'll notice is we've got our generator button up here at the top. Now, all that I need to do is basically describe the type of document that I want this to go ahead and produce for me. Now, we can type up any sort of document or email that we want it to go ahead and generate for us. I'm going to ask this to write me a letter to the seller solicitor detailing our client's position. And what this will then go ahead and do for us is it will then go ahead and actually generate said document immediately for me. So we should then be able to see that this has now started to generate the actual specific document. I mentioned this a little bit earlier, but my whole idea with this is it takes the manual work out of someone having to sit here and type up the actual content of what we want to say ourselves, and instead simply describing it would generate that specific document. Now, I might want this to maybe be in a Word document format, so if I simply then go ahead and click on document, it will be presenting me with my master template so I can have it on my letterhead. I might specifically want that maybe as an email. So what I can do is if I click the arrow next to it, I can also then select the email option. There's also a couple of filtering options up here at the top, so I can go ahead and click into the filter to make this more exact or more broad if I wanted to, as well as the facility to be able to go ahead and upload your own precedents directly into the generator, as well as having personal information utilization to be able to basically make this as accurate as I need it to. So just to summarize, describing the type of document is all there ready for everyone to use and has gone down extremely well with our clients so far. Now let's finish up with auto time. Leap has always been great at allowing solicitors to manually time record on their matters. However, with auto time, Leap will automatically record the time spent on a number of different activities. This includes generating and reviewing documents in Word, drafting or reviewing documents or emails in Outlook, reviewing PDFs, meetings, etc. I'll show the full list of everything that it can do once I've shown you an example. But one of the biggest things that I've seen over the years of training is that time can get missed by staff members through no fault of their own. Using auto time takes out the manual need of having to remember to time record as you go. Recorded activities are billable, but you can also mark them as not billable if we needed to, and billable items are automatically converted over into time entries that you can then go ahead and edit or modify the time entries if required. It can also be configured for individual staff or firm-wide, or it can be turned on or off for certain matters. Now let's see exactly how this works. We're going to change matter one final time, and in this scenario, in fact, we'll keep with the commercial side of things actually. Now I can see that I have my activity billing toggle turned on up here at the top, which means that as I work on this case, it will be automatically capturing our time. Let's just generate a quick document. So I'm going to generate a letter out to my client, click on create. Now what we'll then be able to see if we generate the document, we'll see that the billable toggle, which you should be able to see after a few seconds, is turned on up here at the top. This means as I work on this specific document, it will be automatically capturing the time that I spend typing into it. But say for example, a phone call comes in, I needed to leave my desk for one moment or so, I can simply go ahead and minimize that particular document, which will then go ahead and pause that timer. However long we then spend doing the task that we'd need away from our desk would continue, and whenever we're ready to then go back in, we simply click back into that specific document, the timer would then automatically start for us. If we also clicked away maybe to a second screen, same thing would happen. It basically means as we work our way through, it's capturing the time actually spent on a matter, not the amount of time that we've remembered to go ahead and spend. Now, when I'm finished up with that particular item, I can simply save up and click on Save and Close. That will save into my correspondence, but if I move over into my time and fees, we'll then be able to see that it's automatically gone ahead and captured that time for me onto the specific case. I also get access to this activities option just over on the left-hand side, which will show me a full list of everything that it's automatically captured for me. And if, for example, maybe I didn't want to include something, I could simply go ahead and unclick the included option just up here at the top. Now, to summarize on that brief overview of the auto time side of things, I did mention there's a full list of exactly how this works, how it can be configured, everything that it will go ahead and capture for us. This can be found if I simply go ahead and click on the question mark in the top right hand corner of Leap and move over to the Leap Help Center, which I already have open. What I can then go ahead and do is simply go ahead and search for my matter activity recording to be able to see how it works. There's frequently asked questions. But as we can see, this is the list of items that it will currently be picking up for us, how it can then work for us and what it's going to pick up, how it would work over on iOS or Android devices, etc. Everything that I've shown off today has an article to be able to run through best usage. So for example, LawY, I can go ahead and click into to be able to gain more details on how to use it. We then went into Matter AI. Again, I can click into this to then be able to see everything that it will do for me, how to access everything that I've gone ahead and run through today. We can then have a look at prompts. If I go ahead and just give that a little search, we should then be able to see after a few seconds, Matter AI within Birds. This will run through the chat mode that I showed off, as well as the prompt mode. I can also go ahead and search for the generator as well. Again, get full details of how these work for me, as well as the auto time that I showed off at the beginning. Hopefully that makes sense to everyone. I will touch upon how you can get some more personalised training towards the end of this, but I do just want to reiterate, everything that I've shown off today is included as part of your Leap subscription. No extra charge involved.
Absolutely. I think that's one of the real key points, that you think that all of these additional products that are saving you money, saving you time, making you more efficient are going to be costing you money. And I think the fact that Leap has made these products accessible through your subscription at no extra charge really does give you that competitive edge. It does mean that you are competing with the big boys. You're saving money and it's not costing you money. That's a really good play, I think. Absolutely. Especially for us.
Yeah.
Especially for us.
Definitely. Now, Tracy, I've just got two final questions for you, if it's all right. What advice would you give to other law firms considering the adoption of AI?
Don't wait, really. I think we look at AI with some trepidation, especially if you're a bit older, and you're nervous of IT and technology. And I think you've got to get on board early. I think it's going to be a game changer across the landscape, across everything. And if you don't understand it, learn to trust it, see how to use it within your organisation, within your firm, other people are going to be doing that. The big players are going to be doing their own thing.
Yeah.
We have Leap in-house as sort of our silent partner, really, and it's driving that innovation. And if we don't adopt it and we don't use it, we are going to get left behind. I think for the future going forward, in 5-10 years' time, we'll look back at these conversations and we'll find it odd that we were even talking about it, because it will be just across everything that we do.
Yeah.
And I think as a firm, if we don't embrace it, even the Law Society have talked about how these types of technologies are going to move forward, how AI is going to be sort of running the future. And we have to show where we add value to that. And as solicitors, the more time we can be engaging with our clients directly, giving firms solid, reliable legal advice, and the less time spent doing administrative tasks or research or billing, those tasks where we can automate gives us the freedom and the time to be better at doing the things that we do well, which is giving legal advice. So I would say firms that don't adopt it are going to get left behind. By the time they come on board and start trusting it, we will be using it and integrating it seamlessly.
So much further ahead.
Absolutely, you're going to be way streets ahead. So I'm really pleased that sort of Leap took the leap, and that we're just getting on the train now. And, we're sort of, I feel we're in early doors, and that will stand us in good stead for the future.
Perfect.
Future-proofing our firm.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
That actually leads me on to just the last question then, just to ask what excites you most about the future with Leap and AI moving forward?
I think what excites me the most as managing partner is I've got a 10-year tenure really in this role, and there are concerns about the legal profession, where it's going, how we stay profitable if we're a high street firm, and how we compete against the big firms. I think all this working from home, being more mobile, means that, you know, the high street firm has got to offer something, because otherwise the big city firms now are going to soak up all of our business. And really, we've got to offer something unique. We are there. We can offer that personal touch. We want to be easily accessible. And having the tools to compete cost effectively with the big boys means, I think, for the next 10 years, I'm really looking forward to providing that service. Can't imagine doing it without Leap. I really can't imagine doing it without Leap. So I'm keen for you guys to sort of be holding our hands and leading the way, and we'll just embrace that and go with it.
Amazing. I mean, you've seen from the beginning of this year with the introduction of Law Y and then everything that's come after, we are constantly adding stuff. So
absolutely, the changes have been so fast. And to know that we're getting the support to understand it and learn to trust it, and not having to invest our own time and money in it, but being able to, you know, utilize it as soon as we are, you know, on board with it. I think that is, you know, put us at the forefront of, you know, cutting edge. You don't want to get left behind. And I am, you know, weirdly excited about it.
That's what we like to hear. No, that is brilliant. Tracy, thank you so much for your time. It's been so insightful to be able to see from a solicitor's practice how you're using it. I've been trained on this but for the best part of the year, but hearing it come from clients just changes everything. So thank you so much.
Oh, you're very welcome.
I mentioned a little bit earlier when I was during the demonstration where you can find out more information regarding all the AI products, but if you would like some personalized training, please do feel free to reach out to your customer success manager, or feel free to email success@leap.co.uk. In the meantime, Tracy, again, thank you so much for your time. It has been an absolute pleasure, and I do hope everyone has a nice rest of their day.
Thank you.